I turned on the microwave oven the other day and I heard a giant pop. Like, really scared the crap out of me, and I thought it was the microwave, but you know, it seemed to work okay. Yeah, it's a little dirty, but the light comes on, the rotating plate turns, the time works, I can program it to do whatever I want, but food doesn't get warm. So it was time for a new microwave, because you buy a house and just 24 years later you already have to buy a new microwave. But being one-handed, I thought that there might be a good way to do this without having to try and struggle with one hand on a screw and a screwdriver and another hand trying to hold it up and all that. So I decided to use my transmission jack. Let's see how this goes. So when all this stuff happened, it's 2022, and there are all kinds of problems with the supply chain, and our stuff is black, and they only seem to want to sell stainless steel these days. So we kind of found the only black microwave oven we could find in town. The only problem was when we got there, it didn't fit in our car. But it's okay, because luck would favor us. A friend of ours, Cindy, was on her way over, and she drives a Subaru Outback, which is like a big SUV kind of a thing. So when we got the microwave, we texted her and said, hey, you know, where are you? And it turned out she was like right around the corner. We're like, perfect, come here instead of going to our house. And she did. And when she got there, this is what she arrived in. So that was kind of nasty, so I think I'm going to go clean the rest of the cabinets. Because I bought the exact same brand, installation for me is going to be a breeze, because the holes are in exact same location. See? 9.5 that way, and 7.5 that way, and 9 and 10 that way, and 9 and a... Shit. Well, at least I can still use the same backing plate, right? I mean, clearly they're going to put the holes right in the same look. Alright, so one of the first steps is to go get this back out of the trash, because on the back, you can see there's this perforation, this perforated section here. This is the template you use to mark holes and draw lines and stuff to install the microwave. This is a great idea, because as you can see, it always tears off nice and straight. I guess I'll have to remove the old template, and the instructions say to find the studs in the wall, because you have to have at least one stud, preferably two. I'm not sure I'm going to need to do that, because I have a feeling these screws were driven into the studs, so I think it'll be pretty easy to find without a stud finder, which I always have questionable results with. I'm just really hoping that I'm not going to have an issue with my tile here. I have a feeling this plate is going to need to go down here, and that's going to be an issue. The other thing to mention is that if your cabinets up here are lower in the front than they are in the back, then you need to lower your template by the amount to make it equal to the front. Otherwise, you know, you'll install the microwave and then you'll bring it up against the cabinet and it'll be like crooked and stuff's going to want to fall out, and dogs and cats living together. So I actually have a stud finder, but I don't like them, so I'm going to use my method. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a stud because I pulled out a drywall screw right there. So just to test that, I'll go near here. very solid. Unlike, say, next to it, goes right on in. So that's a stud. Over there, probably the other stud. I don't know where it is, but it's either going to be 16 inches or 24 inches away. What do you know? 16 inches. Let's check. Nice and solid. So another thing I do to find the edge is I'll just come out a little way. About there. I'm still hitting stud. Come out this way a little bit. Still hitting stud. So I know I'm pretty much in the middle. Of course, you only want to do this when you're not going to see the holes. So they say to mark the center line of the opening. I just used this to do it. I just kind of stuck it in there, moved it till it looked like it was in, and then I could use their little holes instead of trying to get a tape measure in there and it wants to curve around, right? But what I can do is just verify that by measuring over. I get just a tad bit over 15, and here I get just a tad bit over 15. So, looks like my eye is pretty good. So I did watch one video of this online. It was a pretty good one, very straightforward. Of course, mounting a microwave is pretty straightforward, but something I might not have thought of, especially with a lot of people if they don't read the instructions. Yeah, I never do that. Is you may have to reorient the motor. The motor's right in this area, and if you look on the back side, here you go. It can be removed. This plate can come out, can be removed, and can be rotated around. And what will happen is that allows it to vent up through a hood, if you have a hood, and out through the roof, I guess. I don't have a hood, so I need to keep it on recirc. That's like that thing setting in the car when your dad smokes, and then it just keeps sending the same smoke through the car. Like anybody smokes anymore. Anyway, this one came set up for recirc, and since that's what I need, I don't have to do anything. But if you have a hood, you might want to vent this up through the hood. It'd be a lot better. We're now at the point in the video where everything goes sideways. Because it's me, it pretty much has to go sideways. And for me, how it's going to go sideways is with the old microwave oven in, I tiled the backsplash up right to the bottom of the microwave, like who would leave a gap, right? Well, the new microwave is just a little bit taller than the old one, which means the microwave will now sit out from the wall. Well, for one, it would sit out against away from the wall, but for two, I can't put my plate in because I'll be on tile. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So the way I see it, I have two ways of handling this problem. I could cut the tile off somehow, or I could put something in here to space everything off to the same distance, and if I need a hole through the tile, I do have a masonry bit and I could do that. Between those options, I think I prefer that. I'll just space the microwave off by, this isn't very much, just a 1/4 inch, which is like, I don't know, 1,000,000 angstroms if you're in the metric system. Is angstroms even really in the metric system? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, now I gotta find something to space it from the wall. So I don't know construction. I never was a construction worker or anything of that nature, but I do know that in my neck of the woods, the studs in a wall are either 16 inches apart or 24 inches apart. Strangely, none of these holes are 16 inches apart. Like, not even going from a top hole, like this weird one that's not even in the same location as these that are evenly spaced, not even from there to over to here. Up, down, left, right, you name it, none of these are exactly 16 inches apart. Now, there's a width to the stud, and some of them are really close, and I could probably use that, but yeah, what were they thinking? So, you may not be able to see it on camera, but in my template it said to put it in this way. There's like a little square here. This is the part you probably can't see. And you're supposed to put it in exactly level and everything, and I think you draw the lines and you drill holes, and so I got it all perfectly lined up the way they said. And now I'm going to get rid of it because that ain't working for me. And here's why. I know it's 17.5 inches down because I measured it, and I measured the microwave to make sure like my template was right. I mean, you really want to put the holes in one time, right? And so I know it's going to be roughly here. It's going to be difficult to draw that line because it's right on a grout line. So what I'm going to do is make sure that the grout line is smooth, and I'll just use that as my line. And then I'll put this on. And what I think I'm going to probably do, since one of the holes lines up on a stud, and no other hole does over here, I'm going to make my own hole. That's the way I roll. Alright, so I changed my mind and I did use this because this is actually a little bit longer than the microwave is tall. This is taller than that is because you need a little tiny bit, so when you angle it in, it doesn't hit here and not go in the hole. But you need not too much because then when you put it in, there'll be a big gap. Now, when you draw the screws together, it'll bring the microwave up and make it even here, but then you'll have a lot of tilt, and so you want to get it just right. And so I used their hole to align this guy, but I only used one because the holes didn't seem to exactly line up. Plus, I can't tell levels. So, fortunately, my house is perfectly plumb, like most houses in the United States. So I decided to do that to locate the first hole, which, incidentally, I couldn't drill because it was too close to the wall to get the drill in. It would have been at an angle, so I just hammered in a nail, and that'll locate this guy. In fact, I can put it in there right now. I'll use my nail. I know you can't see this, but let me see if I can get you to see it. All right, so I'm just going to use that to locate this. There we go, thusly. Then, I can take my trusty level, put it on there, get it to 0. Wow, that's really good. Can't believe I got that so fast. And mark the other one with my third hand. Blast. Okay, so now I've secured the metal bracket with 2 lag bolts and checked it for level and everything. And, gee, did I check it for level? Perfectly level. And I just tape these guys in place. They're just sitting there, but I just thought I'd give it something to bump up against in the back. Mostly because I already cut them. I don't think it's going to make any difference. It rests here, and then it screws into here, which brings me to the part where now I have to drill new holes in here because no standards. Okay, I caught myself before doing something wrong. What you do is you put your template, this is the same template on the back wall. You use it up like this, and it even says these arrows go on the rear wall, and they don't. They need to go on this, or technically this far out. So I need to scooch them a little bit. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark where the holes go and then scooch them after I take the board out. Either way, you need to account for that extra distance, or else the holes won't line up when you try and put them in from the top. Of course, your microwave's probably completely different than mine. So I have a pair of calipers here, because I guess that's one caliper and that's another caliper, and together they make a pair. Sure, let's go with that. Anyway, 0.286, so that's, I measured a little more than that before, so whatever. I don't think it's going to be, it's not rocket surgery here. What I'll do is I'll take this and move my hole center by that amount. I'm going to take you in here because I want you to see this. This is the same company. And look how close those 2 holes are. Is that ridiculous or what? Anyway, you don't have to be super precise because, like them, I'm going to oversize the hole because when you do, you've got a set of washers to help spread the load so the hole doesn't have to be super accurate. A guy on YouTube said drill a little hole from the bottom and then a big hole from the top, and that way you won't have splintering on the top in your nice cabinet. These are not nice cabinets, so I really don't care, but I'll do that. Now I'll just drill through from the top like the guy said. Sure. Okay, so all my holes are drilled and I'm ready to put it back in. But before I install it, I just got to make sure that the place that the power cord comes out is in the right place, because I'm certain that at least will be the same, right? So let's see, that's about 8, and it's about 7, and that is 6, and that is 8 and yeah. Okay, so I just drilled this hole here, which didn't create any dust at all, and now my cabinet looks like Swiss cheese, which is great, but it does mean I am ready to finally install the microwave. Well, with the microwave working well now, I can go on finally, take a shower, and go about my life. Alright, so there it goes. I can't say that I'm actually all that sorry to see it go. It's pretty old, you know, and it's ever since we bought the house, it's had this thing on there. I'm not sure how the previous owners did that, but because it's sort of sandwiched in the door. It's not on the inside or the outside. It's in between, and you can't really get rid of it. So it's pretty ugly, and yeah, we'll be hopefully happy with the new one. So I can't believe I actually have to say this, but don't put a transmission jack directly on your glass cooktop. That's not going to work.